Kevin Jabou is an inventor on a mission to create a brand new global product category. Not satisfied with inventing a product, he's created an entire category from his mum's garden shed. Fast forward to current day, and we can find him in fashionable East London, surrounded by his heavyweight team of executives, including Sir Richard Needham, Deputy Ex-Chairman from Dyson. Who is the Crowdcube Aficionado, the UK's largest equity crowdfunding platform, and Kaelo attracted 400 investors that secured £850,000 on his first round. Who is the product designer with the heart of a marketeer that claims Kaelo was designed to bring a little magic into people's lives with the first social kitchen appliance? Kevin, welcome to the Designerati podcast. I've missed you since the KBB Birmingham. How have you been?
I've been all right, thanks. Yeah, busy as a bee, but yeah.
And you've changed your hairstyle for me today. Last time it was... See, I've seen some pictures of you on Google and you've had like it short.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then you had it shaved last time I've seen you, and now it's grown longer. I'm loving it.
Gotta keep people guessing.
Keeping it real. All right, the Icebreaker. So the typical format for this podcast is that... you bring along something, or you tell me something about you that typically people wouldn't associate with you.
Right. So, what I've got for you is something.
What does it say on the packet? Disturbed friends?
Yeah, but that's just a box.
Oh, right, okay.
That's what I've brought you.
Tell me about it.
Open it first.
Okay. So it's blue tissue paper. And it's La Colombia La Nuestra. What is it, a beer?
No, so that is a Colombian soft drink all the way from Colombia. And the thing that people don't know about me is that my family are Colombian. And that's a little gift for you. Enjoy it. And what we do traditionally is on a really nice day, we mix it with beer and ice, and you create like this jug that you share, and it's just... tastes like good times.
Isn't that fascinating? So you were originally from Colombia?
Yeah.
Both your parents first generation?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you born?
I was born in London though, so I'm a Londoner. But yeah.
Have you visited? Do you visit?
Yeah, every few years, and I'm actually going in about a week.
Where are you? I've only been to Bogota Airport. Where do you go?
So usually, because we've got so much family, you just go and you end up like at your auntie's house, and then every other auntie's house. But this time we're actually going to Medellin and Cali, which is like the home of salsa. So different vibes. Yeah.
Cool vibes. So all your family are still there, or you've got any over?
Yeah, most of them over there. My nan, we did a family tree the other day, and she's got like 72 people that she's responsible for. So there's a lot of us.
Are you a big family man?
I have a big family.
There's a difference. I get it.
Yeah.
There's a difference. That is wonderful, right? So we now know that you are Colombian.
Enjoy it. Tell me if you...
What's the flavour?
It's tropical. So it's like fruity. So another thing about Colombia is we have the most amount of fruits in the whole world of any country. So yeah, try it out this summer. Let me know if you like it.
But what's interesting, I have this belief that life leaves clues, and you've brought along a drink, and your product is in the drinks category.
Okay, all right.
Right, let's discuss.
So, everyone likes a cold drink. Whether it's water, beer, wine, whatever. It's just nice, isn't it?
Yeah, but that wasn't your starting point. That's not your starting point. Because you were a guy, okay, that you graduated in what did you graduate in?
Product design.
Product design. Yeah, and you, in your final year project, you won first prize.
I did.
Okay, that's already quite an accolade. University of Sussex. Right. How many people were on...
Not a lot.
On the competition?
Like 25, I think, something like that, 25, 30.
So what was all the inspiration? The
inspiration came from, I was sitting in a little pub in Brighton with two friends, and we had to think of our final year project. And I'm halfway through my beer, and I figure out like it doesn't taste quite as good as when you first get it. And I was like, oh, if only I could create something that let the table keep the drink as perfectly chilled as when you first got it, so that every sip could be as good as the first sip. And that was the kind of eureka moment. And I thought, right, I'm going to make a table that has pockets that you could put your beer in or your soft drink in, and it would keep it perfectly chilled.
That was like an aha moment.
Yeah,
sitting in Brighton.
That was the moment, yeah.
So for you, the taste experience adjusts depending on the temperature of the liquid that you're drinking.
Well, it's just that first sip is so good, isn't it? Whether it's wine or water or whatever it is, that first sip is just, tastes great. So I thought, how can we get that same experience throughout the whole bottle, not just the beginning?
And then what? What did you do?
And then I figured, right, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. So I'm going to do it for wine first. And I redesigned everything to make the whole experience of wine as good as it could be. Because like there's not this like ice buckets and all of the things that we currently use to try and achieve the same thing. Basically, there's been so many designs of different products to try and achieve that thing, to make sure that that first glass tastes the same for the rest of the bottle, but nothing quite does it really elegantly or I guess effectively or smoothly. You know, it's not fun when you get a bottle out and then you have to go and get ice and a bucket and the whole experience of using the ice. But I was like, if we can put men on the moon, we can create a much smoother experience. So that's what Kaelo was about. I said, right, I want to create something where you get a bottle from the fridge and you start your experience. You don't have to think about it. You put your bottle in a Kaelo and you go back to the moment, you know? It's effortless. And that's what I did.
I love that. So your starting point was identifying a identifying a problem with an existing experience, with an existing product.
I guess it's something that everyone wants. Everyone wants that temperature, that experience to be, you know, I've said it a few times, but as good as the first sip. And you don't want to have to get stuff because it's awkward. If you think about how much you drink wine in your home, how often do you get an ice bucket out? It's just awkward. You want something just easy and smooth so you can go straight into your good times and not have to worry about too much else.
Yeah, I want to talk about good times in a moment because I've noticed in your kind of marketing literature, you talk about how, you know, you don't stand around a tap. It's not kind of fun to stand around a tap, whereas you do stand around your Kaelo product.
Yeah, well, it all happened by accident. We came into the world trying to offer that perfect experience for a perfect temperature. But actually, when we were in there in the market for a little while, I started talking to some people that put it in their kitchen, and it was all about the social experience. It was all about people sitting around it and having that experience or that excuse almost, that invitation to say, right, well, let's open a bottle. Or your friends come over and they're like, oh, what's this? Let's open a bottle. Or even at breakfast, have a carafe of juice in it. And it's just you and your kids sitting around it. And it just became this new thing to have in the center of your living space, the hub of the home, the kitchen. So it kind of happened by accident. But everyone I spoke to, every consumer said, we absolutely love it. It's the pride and joy of the kitchen, or everyone that comes around loves it. So for us, that was the ultimate, I guess, compliment.
And what's fascinating for me is it's almost a mirror of your original experience. You were sat having a fun time with your mates, and actually, the experience of the beer going a little, changing temperature, disrupted your enjoyment, and you found a solution to it.
Yeah.
So this is your first year. This is your final year project.
Yep.
And you designed Kaelo for your final year project and won first prize.
Essentially, yeah. So I thought the idea was really cool. No pun intended.
Very cool.
And I thought, wouldn't it be, as a product designer, you only had to design the concept and kind of show the theory and maybe make a little prototype. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I made this thing work? And, because when they're going around the design show, wouldn't it be cool if it was actually cold? So that's what brought on my crazy inventor mode. And I was like, right, I really want to make this work. I want to make a functional prototype.
And nobody else did the same as you?
No, I think it was the only functional prototype I was just stubborn. I was just like, I just want to make it work. It'd be fun. It'd be cool. So I just bought lots of bits from eBay, and I turned in
Like what?
just different stuff.
Soldering iron.
Soldering irons.
Did you?
I did, and lights, and like different thermal stuff. Like I didn't know anything about it, but I just bought lots of stuff to do experiments.
How did you find out what you needed?
Just trial and error. Google.
Love Google.
Yeah. My secret weapon. I just like Googled lots of stuff and like, how do I make stuff cold, and I got some tips. I'd call some people, and then I just turned my bedroom, which was the size of this table, into a little lab, and until I cracked it, until I was able to make something really cold. And I thought, right, if I do this, if I spin it around, blah blah blah, and that was it.
What is it called? What's the process? Thermal engineering?
It's called thermoelectric technology. Basically, the technology's been around for like 40, 50 years, and they use it in the military and they use it in medical appliances to keep things at very specific temperatures. And what I did is just re-engineered it for having a good time.
So cool. So cool. And you won first prize.
And I won first prize, did really well. I got my £200 award.
That was the winning prize.
Yeah. And
so you're in your bedroom, you create this product, you've actually made a working version of it, which nobody else has, and now you've got your £200.
Yeah. It's on top of the moon, mate.
Where did you get your motivation? What I'm interested in is what makes you different from everybody else? Like why did the other 19 people that were involved in the competition, why did they just do what they were told and you didn't?
I'm just better at Google. I don't know. I don't know. I was just stubborn. I just wanted it to work. Yeah.
I think you just go the extra mile.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it'd be cool.
You wanted something to chill La Colombia.
Exactly. La Colombiana. Yeah.
Okay, so go on. So you got this £200, then what?
And then...
Did you think, oh my gosh, I'm quite cool now?
No, not at all. Some guy at the show came up to me and he was like, have you thought about commercializing this?
Which show?
At the design show, at my final year uni design show. And I didn't really know what commercializing meant.
Google.
I should have Googled it. So at that time I wasn't ready, so I thought, right, let me go out into the world and travel a bit and become a normal human being for a while. And I did that, and then a couple of years later, I tried to get a design job, and that wasn't really happening because I wasn't particularly good at anything, jack of all trades type. And I had this idea sitting there, and I was like, I don't want to, in a few years' time, if this comes out, because I think it's a good product, someone is bound to invent it at some point. I thought, it'd be kind of sad if I didn't explore it, if I didn't try it. I thought, that'd be a fun adventure. And that was it.
So 2 years after you graduate, and you've been awarded first prize in your competition at university.
Yeah, I was working on a building site. as a labourer, 40 quid cash.
And that's because you couldn't get a job in design?
Yeah, I was just working on a building site.
Or you didn't try?
I tried. But yeah, I wasn't particularly good. I wasn't particularly good at 3D design or this or that.
Or you weren't good at conforming?
Maybe. And I just like the idea of the adventure. I was like, how cool would it be if this dude that doesn't have any experience, doesn't have any money or any connections can make this thing a thing? That seemed like a big adventure. And that's why I did it. So
2 years after you've won the first prize, you've got this working prototype.
Yep.
It's not patented yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. You've been working on building sites. Fast forward 2 years and you're like, right, now, adventure. Let's get back to the Kaelo. What was it called then? Nothing.
So initially I felt like it should be called the Halo because when you put a bottle inside, the lighting puts a little halo on every bottle. But then I've always been fond of the Japanese principle of continuous improvement, Kaizen, which is what the umbrella company for Kaelo is called. So I just fused the two words, Kaizen and Halo, to get Kaelo.
What interests you about the Japanese culture?
Well, I love everything about Japanese culture. Super, super interesting. But Kaizen specifically, because I think every day is an opportunity to improve and learn something, you know. Life is short, you know, get going, improve somehow, learn something, talk to someone. So I've loved it.
Have you read the book Outliers?
No.
Malcolm Gladwell, yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, I think you'd quite like that.
Okay.
But another thing I like about you is you saw a homeless person on the street before, and you said to me, "God, he's fascinating. I learned so much from him." I mean,
Yeah.
You've clearly got a growth mindset. For me, you learn from every experience that you have. Would that be right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's always something to learn from everyone, and I think every experience. I try and think of everything as either being a challenge or a lesson. So, yeah, there's stuff to learn everywhere. There's inspiration everywhere, I think.
And I'm wondering how the Japanese culture fits in with your mindset that everything is a lesson or an opportunity to learn.
I don't know. I'd like to dig in a little bit more into the culture. There's so many different aspects of the culture that I'm really interested in that I'd love to spend more time learning about when I have more time.
Okay, so you've created this product, and I'm fascinated about how you bring it to market, because I'm not believing that it's just Google.
Okay.
There's something about you that is pretty special.
So, very early on, I've got these two best buds, and I bring them on quite early and say, "Look, guys, I've got this idea. Let's try and make it a thing." And they trusted me. I don't know why. Both of them are crazy. And so...
What do they do?
So now one of them is a creative director for an interiors company, and the other one is he's like an innovations director for a different company.
So you like their vibe, their kind of... their values, they've got the same sort of skills as you admire.
They were brothers to me, you know, and they had that same spirit of let's go into the unknown, and that was exciting. So as a for about 3 years, we just worked really hard on all these little jobs to like put money into the research and development, which basically us in my mum's shed, buying all these bits, trying to do different experiments to see if we could crack or if we could make a prototype that we could put into the market. And that's what we did. That was a super, super interesting time of our lives because we didn't know what we were doing. So
you were like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory, but in your mum's shed?
Exactly.
What with where did you get all the manufacturing bits and bobs?
So again, and I was telling this to you earlier, I didn't know anything about manufacturing or anything, so I just Googled everything. Just went on YouTube, found out how to solder, found out how to polish, found out how to, wire LEDs and do electronics, and took all of this information from the internet and made it into this prototype that worked. It took about 3 years to get there. And then we thought, right now, let's go out and see if anyone will buy this. And then that was an interesting time because, me and Rob, so Carl...
One of the three.
So Carl, he would work and put money in to us doing all the stuff. And then me and Rob would work in my mum's shed. And we would set up these meetings with these big interior designers. And we'd go...
In the shed?
No, not in the shed. We would go to them, obviously. And I remember we had the Kaelo, but I was like, right, I need to find a way, something to put it in so it's a little bit more presentable. So I got this, I went to the second-hand store and got this little crappy table. And I sanded it down and varnished it and put the Kaelo in it. And if you look back, it looks pants. But it's all we had. And we would take it to these top-end interior designers.
Creative.
Yeah, and be like, oh, no, we're here about Kaelo, blah, blah, blah. And in one of those meetings, they said, oh, this is cool, but you should go across the road and speak to a guy called Michael because he does kitchens. And that's what we did. And we went over and he loved it. But he said, you guys, you're a little bit too late, unfortunately, because I've got a showroom that I've just completed, one that I'm completing in London. And
so not too late with the product innovation, but too late in having your products in his in his development.
Yeah, because I thought, it'd be cool to get it into a showroom so we could see if people actually want to buy it.
As opposed in your makeshift DIY table.
Exactly. So that's what we did. So we then said, where's your showroom? And he's like, it's here, but it's too late, guys, sorry. So we're like, all right, cool. We'll just go. And then what we did is we got in the car and we went straight there. And we spoke to the guy that was managing the showroom. And we're like, we're here to install your Kaelo. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I think it's going to go over there on that worktop. And he's like, you sure? And I was like, yeah.
You went and cut a hole in his worktop without his permission?
Basically. But kind of blagged it, brought someone pretty quick to cut a hole, put it in.
I love it.
And then we just left and left some information. And I think it was like 2 weeks later.
There's a flashing circle.
You got to try.
I love you.
And it was like a couple of weeks later, it was like, we've got a client that wants to buy one of your wine coolers. And we're like, oh shit, like now what? Now what do we do? So now we've got to make one. So that's what started the whole journey. So we figured more people started to buy it, and I figured we didn't have a website, we didn't have any marketing, we didn't have a brand. So I figured if we could do it, imagine if I actually built a proper company around it with people that know what they're doing. This could have some legs, and that's what started the journey.
Wow, visionary! You are visionary. You're an inspiration for people saying yes and then figuring out how to do it afterwards.
Jump in and learn how to swim. That's what I say.
Is it? Yeah.
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 Yeah. I wouldn't be a good swimming coach, but that's my approach on life. Yeah.
I love that. You talk a lot about Google, right? And you're. I can instinctively tell you're very humble and modest, yeah. And I think that you use your intuition a lot more than, I mean, you cloak it with humor and say Google, but I think you use your intuition. What's your views on university? Yeah, the stuff you learn at university versus the stuff that you learn, instinctively with your wisdom, with your experiences with Google.
I've always had the approach that you need to go out into the world and have as many experiences as possible, because everything carves your imagination and your creativity. So, I think everything that I've done has helped me form Kaelo and the relationships that have built Kaelo and the creativity towards it. So I always encourage people. So, for example, one of our investors asked if I could speak to one of their kids who had just finished university and needed some guidance, hoping that I'd be like, go for this job and do this thing. And when I spoke to him, I was like, mate, you've been studying so hard. Go, discover the world, become yourself. Because I think that is a really, really important thing that people forget, and they go too hard into whatever it is that they want to do and forget that actually you need more. You need a full spectrum of experience to give you the best chance, I think.
So there's a place for education alongside work experiences of life.
Yeah, definitely. It was funny because I spoke to the dude and his dad wasn't particularly happy with me telling him that, but that's my honest opinion. I think you need both.
I'm interested in why you believe you're successful and your definition of success.
I think my success comes from knowing all of my weaknesses and knowing that I don't really know what I'm doing, and I need to bring in people that know what they're doing. And I think, having that plus the ability to share and bring people in and want mutual success, I think those are probably the biggest factors, and a bit of imagination.
Fabulous. Fascinating. Would you say that you are, where does control fit with you?
I think I don't really like the word control. It's more direction. And that's been a challenge over the years is trying to keep, the people that you need aligned, some are going left, some are going right. And it's not a specific science of trying to get getting people on the same path. So that's sometimes quite tricky, but yeah, guidance and direction and vision, and having, I guess, good interpersonal abilities to keep everyone on track, I think is super important.
What do you think your team say about you behind your back, about your leadership qualities?
Leadership qualities.
Or not qualities?
I don't know. Leadership qualities. I think I'm just me. I try and keep everything flat and always be Kev and them always be whoever they are, and always keep everyone like on that vision of where we're going and having that vision of shared success. I spoke to one guy once, like the owner of a super successful company, who was thinking about investing in Kaelo. And then he asked me, how many investors have you got? And I told him. And I've always felt that having lots of investors is a great thing, because you managed to sell your story to all of these people. And I told him, and he closed his book and he's like, I'm not interested. And I was like, oh, how come? And he's like, oh, why are you going to share your success with all of these people? You've done all the hard work. I was like, well, I'm not going to, what's the point in doing all of this and like just celebrate by myself? Like, it'd be much better to like do it with a whole bunch of people. That's the adventure, isn't it? Seeing if you can achieve it as a team and then celebrating together.
Lovely. So you have an inclusive culture at Kaelo.
Definitely.
What is the vibe there? So you're based in Shoreditch.
Yes. So the vibe is good. We like to have a good time. We all share the same values. So
do you have like weekly meetings?
We do have weekly meetings. Yeah. Everyone's just down for the adventure. As I say to everyone when they join that Kaelo should never be a job or an office. It's always about a collective of people trying to achieve the impossible. And that's why I think everyone enjoys it, It's a mission. It's an ultimate adventure.
Yeah, I'm also interested in your hiring strategy. You've got some heavyweight people around you. The ex-deputy chairman from Dyson. Yeah, he clearly believes in you. You told me before you've got a new hire, a new design guy who's, my gosh, I mean, if people knew which brands he works on, incredible.
Yeah. So Sir Richard Needham, he was, I think, instrumental in the success of Dyson. And 2 years ago, we approached him and we showed him what we were doing. And then he was impressed, and he helped me build a team of the right people across marketing, commercial, manufacturing to take Kaelo from what it was to like this global potential company.
Did he see something in you or the product, or both?
I think initially neither. I think I was very different to the people in all of his other businesses. So I looked like a risky proposition.
Interesting.
But
what, because of your personality, your approach, your style?
I'm a dude from East London that doesn't really know much. I'm not from I don't have the experience of the industry. I don't have the experience of anything really. I started Kaelo when I was 23. So there's a bit of a risky move for him. But I think what he did was then to validate that, he brought in some of his top dogs to look at what we were doing. And then they all went and to our assembly facility. They saw the product, tested it, blah, blah. And then they came back and obviously gave a shining review, because then he was like, all right, cool. Picked up the phone and set up all the meetings, started building the team, brought in a CEO, and said, right, this is where we're going now. And yeah, it turned Kaelo from, I guess, this potential to this big company with all of this, all of these amazing people.
How would he describe you?
He calls me, I don't know why, but he calls me romantic.
Love.
I don't understand that. But he says, oh, Kevin's very romantic. And I guess, I know, I have a vision and I think it's going to be achieved. And I think he translated that to romantic.
Maybe you care.
Maybe.
You're passionate.
Yeah, maybe.
It's your baby.
Yeah, I guess so.
Where are you going now? So I called you a serial inventor because I know that you've got 2 more products on the horizon, and you made me scratch out cereal. Well, what's going on? What's the future for you?
So we've got some really, really exciting, groundbreaking stuff that I can't tell you. But essentially what we're doing, so Kaelo is doing really well in the kitchen world. People love to, to have good times in the kitchen and share those moments. But what we want to do is bring Kaelo to other areas of people's lives. Because if you think about your life in general, like, when do you not want to have a cold drink around? Whether you're relaxing
and
or
I need
socializing.
ice cream when I'm eating my when I'm watching movies.
There you go. Yeah.
So I need it in a cinema room or a movie theatre or a TV room, please.
Exactly.
Also, when I'm putting in my dressing room, when I'm putting face masks on, they need to come from a refrigerator.
Okay.
So if you could organise that.
Yeah, I'm taking all of that down. We'll sort it out for you.
Also, what about luggage?
What about luggage? What, you need stuff cold in your luggage? What are you carrying?
Well, for example, if you're doing a trip, like a business trip, and you're taking...
Sounds like you're a serial killer or something. What
happens if you need eye masks quickly, or you want a glass of, I don't know, a glass of wine as soon as you arrive in your hotel room?
All right, well, yeah.
And you don't want to pay the money in the bars. What do you call it?
I'll put it on the mood board. I'll put a luggage case on the mood board.
That's shit, isn't it?
It could be improved, but we'll see.
So your reinvention or your kind of your brand extension is along the lines of the experience.
Absolutely.
In the home.
What we're essentially doing is offering. We're guaranteeing the best wine experience possible, because everyone wants their beverage at the temperature that they keep it at. So if you think about people with their fridge or their wine fridge, they're paying all of this money and wasting all of this energy to keep things at specific temperatures. But when you come to serve it, which is the most important time, there's currently nothing to really keep that temperature. So with Kaelo, you're actually guaranteeing that experience for the entirety of the bottle. So it's a big deal, especially with energy and things like that. Like, why are you keeping all of this big collection of wine at specific temperatures when you come to serve it and you're not enjoying it at that temperature?
Yeah.
So there's that. That's what we're trying to do, offering that and guaranteeing that best wine experience, but also just a social, fun experience. People love drinking and having a good time. What's
your views on innovation? Because you just slated my ideas.
I didn't slate them. I said they were on the mood board.
Are you here for invention or reinvention? Like, what do you think? Like at night, when you're lying in bed. I mean, you've got this big company now. You've got these heavyweight people around you. This is pressure.
Yeah, there's pressure. You've
got dividend. People want dividends. They want results, and you are it.
Yeah. I think. What do I think? I think we've got something great that we can offer people, and fortunately, it's in a space where it invites itself. People are actively out there trying to solve this problem. So I get a lot of joy in being able to offer that solution. It's a fun product. and it's a fun company, and we've got this opportunity as a brand to really be that brand synonymous with having a drink with your friends and your family. So yeah, there's lots of ideas that we've got to continue that experience and be the brand that you relate to having those times.
I've also got another idea. If
Go
you
on.
can just make a life-size one, because cryotherapy is really big, isn't it, at the moment,
Okay.
that we can walk into.
Life-size Kaelo. Okay.
A life-size Kaelo
All right.
that will
all right.
preserve us.
Yes.
Yeah?
You can have your drinks whilst you're in it.
You could do. So I know you're running the marathon. Are you fit as well?
No, definitely not fit. But I would love to raise a lot of money for the charity that I'm doing it for.
And the charity is WizKids.
WizKids.
What are they about?
So WizKids are all about helping less abled children.
Love. Where can we find it? WizKids. Is it W?
It's WHIZ Kids. I'm going to do 26 miles.
What are you going to be dressed as? A giant Kaelo?
Whatever WizKids want me to dress as. It's a fantastic cause, and I'd love to raise a lot of money for them.
And hopefully the dad that you gave his son advice will not be there cheering you along.
He will. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Good luck with
Great
Kaelo.
cause, yeah.
Did you get J-Lo to endorse you?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
J-Lo, if you're listening.
J-Lo for
there's
the
an
Kaelo.
opening. Yeah, exactly. Kaelo for the J-Lo. Yeah.
And human-sized cryotherapy.
Yes, put J-Lo in one of those. Yeah.
It would look hot.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you have enjoyed today's podcast, do like and subscribe. I'm going to be here every Monday morning with more amazing guests challenging design perspectives. See you then.